She sat by the window, arms around her knees, and watched the falling snow. She was 35, and life seemed so distant and alien. Marriage, children, routine, all of it was like a dream from which she could not wake up. But sometimes, on quiet evenings, when the house fell silent, her thoughts returned to the past, to the time when everything was just beginning, to that winter evening which changed her, always. Then she was 14, and the world was full of mysteries and discoveries. Winters were cold, and Mom, caring for the children, allowed her to sleep in the same room with her adoptive brother. He was 2 years older than her, and between them there always existed a certain distance, as if an invisible wall separating their worlds. But that winter the wall began to crack, and everything changed. One night she woke up from a strange noise. A rhythmic creak and moans came from behind the wall, where my mother's bedroom was located. The girl remembered that her mother was waiting for a friend. The voices were getting louder, and from the fragments of phrases she clearly understood that it's happening there. Mom and her friend constantly told each other how to sit or lie down, what would happen next. It was very depraved sex accompanied by dirty talk. "Come on, sit on me," hissed a male voice, and she imagined her mother obeying, feeling his firmness inside her. "I like you," answered her mother, her voice trembling with excitement. "You so big, so hot." The girl felt her body reacting to these words. Her heart beat faster, and a pleasant pulsation appeared between her legs. She quietly got up from the bed, trying not to wake. She listened to her brother and approached the wall. She listened to their breathing, their moans, how their bodies moved in unison. It was like music, forbidden and tempting. Her hands lowered themselves, and she began stroking herself through the thin pajamas. Fingers glided across the damp fabric, and she felt her body reacting to every word, every sound. Mom and her friend were talking about how they wanted each other, how they cannot stop, and this ignited her imagination. "You are so wet," the man hissed, and the girl imagined him plunging into Mom, feeling her warmth. "Don't stop," Mom asked. "Mom," her voice was full of passion, "I want you to come inside me." The girl bit her lip to keep from screaming with excitement. Her fingers quickened their movements, and she felt a wave of pleasure building. It's inside. She imagined herself in her mother's place, imagined how this man touched her, how she felt him inside. Her body trembled, and she knew she wouldn't be able to hold on much longer. Suddenly she heard how B, the rat, tossed and turned on the bed. Her heart sank, but it was too late. He opened his eyes and saw what she was doing. His gaze was filled with surprise, but also something else and interest that she couldn't explain. "What are you doing?" he whispered, his voice hoarse from sleep. She didn't answer, she just continued, feeling her body approaching the edge. Her brother watched silently, and then his hand lowered. She went lower, and he began stroking himself through his pajamas. She saw his body react, how he was aroused by her actions. "Did you hear them?" he asked, his voice full of excitement. "Yes," she answered. She moaned, barely containing her groans. "It's so hot," they continued, their movements synchronizing as if they were part of one rhythm. The moans behind the wall grew louder, and they adjusted to them, as if they participated in this dance. Her body tensed, and she felt a wave of pleasure wash over her as she grew caught in an ocean of enjoyment. "Oh, God," she whispered, her voice full of ecstasy. Brother also could not restrain himself, and his body trembled from orgasm. Their moans merged into one, and they came simultaneously, as if it were planned. She fell onto the bed, feeling her body still trembling from what had happened. Her brother lay down beside her, and an awkward silence hung between them. "Do you think they heard us?" he asked, his voice full of embarrassment. "I don't know," she answered, smiling. But it was incredible. They were silent, listening as everything quieted down behind the wall. Mom and her friend had probably fallen asleep, tired from passion. But for the two of them, this night it has only just begun. They lay beside each other, feeling their bodies still pulsating from what they had experienced. "Have you ever done this before?" asked the brother, his voice full of curiosity. "No," she answered. Her heart beat faster at the thought that this was only the beginning. "And you?" He smiled, and in his eyes she saw something new, something that promised much. "Now, yes," he said, and his hand gently too, she clasped her hands. They lay in the darkness, listening to the snow tapping against the window, and thinking about what awaited them. This night became the beginning of something new, something forbidden and tempting, and she knew that is only the beginning.